All right, today we are going way beyond just talking about change. We're handing you a new protocol for it. So forget about those simple New Year's resolutions. Think of this as a mission briefing for a total life transformation. Let's get right into it. First things first, let's ask a question that, you've probably asked yourself a million times. Why do your resolutions, all those big plans you make, why do they always seem to just fizzle out? You start off so strong, so motivated, but it just never sticks. So what is really going on here? Well, the answer is actually a lot simpler than you'd think. It's because you're fighting the wrong enemy. See, the problem isn't that you lack discipline or that you don't have enough willpower. No, the real enemy is something much, much deeper. It's something you might not even know you're protecting. So, consider this your official mission briefing. Your objective, we're calling it the identity shift. And the main idea is this: you don't achieve your way to a new life. You become the person who is already living that life. This is all about a fundamental change in who you are, not just the things you do. A professional athlete doesn't have to force themselves to train. It's just who they are. And this quote really hits the nail on the head. The lifestyle has to come first. If you think of new habits as some kind of temporary punishment on the way to a goal, you are absolutely guaranteed to go right back to your old ways the second you get there. Okay, every good mission needs a threat analysis. And in our case, the threat is internal. We've got to deconstruct that enemy within. And here's the key piece of intel. All of your behavior, even the self-sabotage that you hate so much, it's all aimed at achieving some kind of goal. And this brings us to a really cool psychological concept called teleological behavior. It's just a fancy way of saying that everything we do is purposeful. We're pulled forward by a goal. Your actions, not what you say you want, they reveal your true and often unconscious desires. So when you procrastinate, you're not actually being lazy. You are successfully achieving a goal, which might be something like avoiding failure or judgment.
And here is that exact conflict in action. You might say out loud, I want to be an entrepreneur, but your actions, like staying put in that safe, predictable job, they're perfectly aligned with a deeper, unconscious goal, maintaining safety. So your system is working perfectly. It's just working towards a goal you don't consciously admit you want. So here's the kicker. When you try to make a big change, your brain often sees it as a direct threat to your current identity. It's a threat to all that safety and predictability we just talked about. And just like a lion jumping out of the bushes, it triggers a real physiological stress response. Your whole system goes into fight or flight mode to protect the status quo, to protect the person you are right now. Now, to overcome this internal threat, you're going to need an intel upgrade. We have to completely redefine what intelligence means. It's not about your IQ. It's not about how many books you've read. For the purpose of this mission, the true measure of intelligence is simply this: how good are you at getting what you want out of life?
The tool we're going to use for this is called Cybernetics. It comes from an old Greek word that means helmsman, or basically good at steering. And that's exactly what it is. Think of it as the art of steering your life. It's a practical framework for taking intelligent action and course-correcting your way toward any goal. I mean, look at it like this. You are the boat, and your goal is that lighthouse way off in the distance. Now, you are going to get blown off course by winds and currents. That is a guarantee. Real intelligence isn't about sailing in a perfectly straight line. That's impossible. Real intelligence is the constant process of noticing you're off course and steering back toward that light.
And here it is, the cybernetic loop in action. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful 5-step process. You set a goal, you act, you sense where you are now, you compare that to the goal, and you correct your course. That's it. That is the engine of all progress. A person with low cybernetic intelligence hits a roadblock and just quits. A person with high intelligence, they just iterate again and again and again.
Think of your mind as an operating system, kind of like on your phone or your computer. Psychological models have shown us that personal growth isn't this random, chaotic thing. It actually happens in predictable stages, almost like software updates. This protocol we're talking about is designed to force an upgrade to your personal OS, to help you jump to that next level of functioning. So let's finally get to the protocol itself. This is a one-day mission. We're calling it psychological excavation. And its whole purpose is to have you dig deep into your own mind to generate the raw, powerful, emotional fuel you're going to need for a genuine identity shift. This is where the real work begins. Okay,
So your first objective is a little counterintuitive. We are not starting with a happy, positive vision board. Nope. We are starting by building what's called an anti-vision. This is about creating a brutally honest, super detailed picture of the future you will absolutely have if nothing changes. We need to make the cost of doing nothing painfully, undeniably real.
So let's start digging. And I want you to take this question seriously. If you stay on the exact same path for the next decade, what does that life really look like? What opportunities are just gone forever? Who in your life has given up on you? I want you to really feel the weight of that future. Now, for a really critical one, what identity are you clinging to for dear life? Are you the funny laid-back one or the reliable one who never makes waves? You have to understand that real change means letting that character die. What would it cost you socially to stop being that person? Let's go even deeper. Forget the respectable excuses. The I don't have time or it's too complicated. What is the raw, deeply embarrassing reason you haven't changed? The one that makes you sound scared or weak or maybe even lazy. That's where the truth is hiding. And finally, if all your self-sabotage is really a form of self-protection, then what is it protecting you from? Is it failure? Is it judgment from other people? Is it just the scary unknown? You have to name it. Because that protection has a cost, and your anti-vision just showed you exactly what that cost is. Okay, now that we've excavated all that emotional fuel, it is time for mission launch. We're going to take all these powerful insights, the pain of the anti-vision, the pull of a new identity, and we're going to install them as a brand new operating system. We are going to gamify your life. This framework is so powerful because, video games are literally engineered to create obsession and focus. So we're translating your life goals into game elements. That terrifying anti-vision, that's what's at stake. Your positive vision, that's how you win the game. Your big one-year goal becomes the main mission. Your monthly projects, those are now your boss fights, the huge challenges you beat to level up. And your daily habits, those are the quests that get you experience points. And when you put all of these pieces together, they create this incredible force field for your attention. Your mission becomes your one and only priority. Distractions can't get in because they have absolutely nothing to do with winning your game, completing your daily quests, or defeating that next boss. This system creates total clarity and, honestly, a relentless focus. And that brings us to the end of this briefing. You've analyzed the internal threat, you've upgraded your intelligence system, and you've done the deep psychological work. The system is installed, your game is now officially loaded. So the only question left is, what is your first quest?